Good evening. My name is Cornwallis Beaumont Esquire. I am the president and CEO of Meta World Luxury, and we are the parent company of Amin Cell Straps. Tonight, we are proud to partner with BLNF, Bobby Legs and Friends, to present you the third annual Amin Cell Straps ASS Awards, recognizing excellence in horology and watchmaking. At this point, we'll go to our opening credits. And welcome to the third annual Amin Cell Straps Awards. This is the most prestigious watchmaking awards in the industry, and we are happy to have a panel of distinguished judges here today to award the very best and the very worst of this year. Before we go around the panel, I'm going to do a wrist check first, my wrist check, and then we'll just go around and everyone can do their wrist check. When I was deciding on my wrist check today, with the prestige, with the spectacle of the Amin Cell Straps Awards, there was only one watch that I thought I would wear today. It had to have the gravitas, the sophistication, the panache, and the provenance worthy of the Amin Cell Straps Award. Again, the most prestigious watchmaking award show every year. And of course, I'm wearing the greatest watch ever, the God tier watch, the John Mayer number 2. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Colin.
Mm-hmm. So I decided to class it up a little and put on the very rare John Mayer G-Shock.
No way.
Yeah.
You guys.
What are the chances?
This is
Joe,
bizarre.
Joe, what do you have on wrist?
The star.
Well, happy Speedy Tuesday, guys. I've got the G-Shock on there.
Oh my god!
I thought I was only doing it for Wolfie. You guys. This is shocking. But to our good friend Wolfgang, also wearing the Mayor just for you.
I think I screwed up. I had a couple watches that came in, on loan, and I wanted to wear them, just because I'm doing reviews on them. Crap. But you know what? I'm joking. I got the John Mayer on too.
So there we go, guys. God tier watches for everyone, as we recognize the pinnacle of horological achievement for 2022.
On the same day that the third John
On the
Mayer
same day that the
released.
third John Mayer. We won't be able to get to that though, but I'm sure it was excellent.
That's my watch of the year.
No spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so I thought I'd add a little bit, add a little bit before we get into the awards proper. So I've got a Letterman type list today, and it's really a top 10 list of why the ASS Awards are better than the GPHG. So I'm just going to quickly run through the top 10 reasons why the ASS Awards are better than GPHG. Number 1, the GPHG doesn't offer promo codes. So for tonight only, we've got a special RS promo code. It's the RS Don't Do It 2023, and that's in recognition of Austerity 2023, where we're trying not to buy, just trying to buy the very best watches. We're not buying any shitters. Why buy a shitter when you can buy a poorly made Chinese strap peddled by a fake British guy? Wait, that's another channel. Anyway,
that's the GPHG.
Yeah, right. Number 9, why the ASS Awards are better than the GPHG. The GPHG agrees with Marcus less than 80% of the time. Unacceptable. Less than 80% match rate. Number 8, Furlan Mary has never won an ASS award. Number 7, Amin's hair and robot watch. Number 6, the ASS only regards Messina with derision and ridicule, and rather than letting his shitters actually compete for prizes every year. Number 5, we have a Cho. Number 4, while we respect Edouard Milan, we do stop short of drinking his bathwater. Number 3, Bobby Legs can deadlift more than their judges.
Yeah.
Number 2, as you can tell by our horological choices and sartorial choices, we are not super rich, so we are not getting that sweet tutor money, allegedly, as our judges. And finally, number 1, our obnoxious coffee snob is better than their obnoxious coffee snob.
Here. No
That's
doubt.
the top 10 reasons why the ASS awards are better than the GPHG. So, before we get to the awards proper, we have a special jury award by our good friend and noted Orange Watch aficionado, Chaz. So, Yabi, do you want to get to that?
Sure, let's bring that up.
Perfect. So, there we go. The Orange Watch of the Year from Chaz from the Berg. What a great
Very
watch.
nice.
The Gronefeld, salmon
Good
dial,
choice.
orange bumpers, orange strap.
Good choice.
All right.
Definitely
Good
the
choice.
best orange watch.
Should we say hello to the
should.
crowd first before
Let's
we
say
get
hello to the
into
crowd.
the award ceremony? And speaking of Chaz, there he is, Phil Flanders for President 2024. Hey, Chris is here. How you doing, Chris? We're wearing Black Bay 58. Colin, oh, that's you. 5,000. Yeah, very close to 5,000 subscribers. Hope we get that very soon. Hey,
Hit that
Deech is here.
subscribe button.
If you're not subscribed, get in there. You could put us over 5K.
And remember to like and share with your friends. Okay. Smash that like button. Okay.
Smash it.
Let's see. Deech is here. How you doing, Deech? Hey, Rick is here. How are you, Rick? Steve Time Hill. Good to see you. I'm going to go right through these guys because we have a big night tonight. Underachieving Watch Collector here. BJ is here. How you doing? What's going on? Bill K is here. AZ Clayton's here. Pale Horse is here. How you doing, Pale Horse? Marceau is here. What's up, Marceau? Wearing his custom Benzinger. Beautiful watch. Love that watch.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson's here. How you doing? Hey, Mr. Cassioke Steve is here. Good to see you. Peter C. here for the awards. Wilson again. Justin R. strapped in. Keith is here. How are you? Greg S. is joining us in all the way from the Midwest. Hobby Bobby all the way from wherever Hobby Bobby's from. Joey B, what is up? Hey now, Kevin S. He's here. YOLO, Dib is here. Good to see you, Dib. Ken Spear is here. How you doing, Ken? Caliber YQG, how you doing? Canadian Watch Monkey is here. The red carpet is rolling out for Joe Chang, but he's already here. So, Lord Lofi, oh, nice to see
Lord
you.
Lofi.
Maison 1 is here. Thomas Burnett, my friend, how are you? AP_time, what is up? Design Atelier, Jason is here. How you doing, Jason? Mez9 is here. James Duffy is here. How are you, James? Good to see you. Kevin S. Again, I said hello to him. Ep is here. How you doing, Ep? And I think we pretty much got everybody, unless I see somebody. Oh, Dan is here. 911 Dan. Can't forget about Dan. And Mr. O'Neill is here. Porsche Man 911. What is up? What is up? Driving the Porsche. Chris J is here. How are you, Chris? Bruno, how you doing? Detroit Spartan all the way. Yes. Oh, and Chris, thank you, Chris. Appreciate it for the super chat. 5,000 subscribers, hopefully coming soon. JJ is here. How are you, JJ? And I think, Marcus, we are caught up. Handing it back over to you.
Excellent. So, the first award tonight is Positive Whiplash. It's the Positive Whiplash Award. So when we talk about Positive Whiplash, we're talking about watches that our opinion has changed on the most for the better. So these are watches that we initially maybe were apathetic to or disliked, and then we've come around to them. So this year, I couldn't think of a more fitting person to recognize with naming this award after than our good friend Dib. Because with Dib, personally, when I first met Dib, I didn't get it. Like, I was like, what's the big deal with this guy? Like, he likes shitty brands and he likes shitty watch YouTubers. And then as I slowly got to know Dib better, I realized, you know what? He's got a pretty encyclopedic knowledge about the resale market, the secondary market, and he knows watches. And some of those brands that I thought were shitty weren't as shitty as I thought they were, and some of those YouTubers that I thought were shitty weren't as shitty as I thought they were. So, with that, I'm proud to announce the Positive Whiplash Award, the Dib.
We love you, Dib.
Sweet Honey Balls Award for the Positive Whiplash, the first ASS award of the night. So let's go to that.
Dib, Sweet Honey
Should I lead it off?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to you, Florida.
Okay. When I saw this watch at first, this Rolex Deep Sea Challenge, I just thought, oh god, it's another Rolex diver with the dots on it and looks, same old shit. But having seen it on, some wrists, and people think it looks crazy or ridiculously sized. I think it looks really cool, and it's actually kind of more interesting than a lot of other watches. And it's just grown on me. They went there, they did something that is really unusual, and it's really, I guess, it's like it's not a sculpture, but it's like this crazy looking thing, and I dig it.
Cool. Oh, I'll go next, right?
Sure.
And my choice was the new Sarpaneva Nocturne. At first I was like, hey, you got a sad moon on here. It doesn't really do anything for me. Yeah, the owl. I do like birds, but it's not really the star of the show. And then the more and more I got to look at this piece and see, like, the loom, how it looked in this loom shot, I was like, wow, this is really, really awesome. And it just changes my thinking on what a timepiece has to look like, right? It kind of breaks through. I mean, I know there's a lot of other watches out there that do that for other people, but something like this brings in a lot of artistic notions to the piece, and I really, really like it. And yeah, it's definitely been at first I wasn't too crazy about it. Then the more and more I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I really, really like this piece, and it had the biggest impression on me this year.
It's an awesome watch.
Yep, love that watch. It's amazing. Look at that loom. Jeez. Colin, why don't you tell us about the Sprite?
I mean, so there were rumors for years about a Sprite watch, and then of course they released it as a Destro, so LHD or whatever. And at first I was like, seriously guys, like this is what you're going with. I thought it was kind of lazy. I just thought they were taking the easy way out, but the AD had one in as a not for sale unit, and tried it on, and you know what, the GMT Master is just so good, and that's such a cool watch, and it looked really great. They do that green so well, and they might only, there's rumors they might only do it for a short amount of time. So yeah, I've kind of changed my mind on it, and I think it's a cool watch. It's nothing special really, but I think it's more my initial reaction that gives me the whiplash.
Yeah. I guess I'll go next, and then we'll leave Cho for last. We'll leave the best for last. So I started off with this. This is more of a, just like Colin, it's kind of an ambivalence to love sort of thing, as opposed to negative to positive. When this version of the Armin Strom the Armstrong came out, I was kind of ambivalent. Like I just dismissed it. And I think this is the best version of that watch, the Equal Force, because it's got the Voudalinen dial and the and it's got the Comblamine backplate. So. And this was the same price as the Super Sapphire, so it's a full. I think it's like 10-15% less, like $3,000 less than the collective one. But this one actually does have a Kari dial, and it is limited. I didn't love this model, and then sort of I got into Armstrong when I was doing research for GPHG, and then the collective came out, and then I started looking into this, and again, this is a very small maker. I like the dial side aesthetics. I'm starting to get more into dial side aesthetics as opposed to being just a pure sort of case back guy. So I was again, this is also shifting. This is also a sign of my shifting preference for more dial side sort of dial side decoration. So I really enjoyed this specific version of the watch. It sold out obviously before I had my sort of 180. So it's going to be sold out, and I'm not going to have the watch, but it's a watch that I considered for watch of the year as well. So I thought I'd put it here. It's just pipped by a different watch, but so I thought I'd recognize it here. And let's go to cap this all off. Let's hear about Cho's pick.
Oh, okay. Mine is easy because I like the Hobrings. Always have, always will. But when this watch came out, there's a 38 millimeter version of what was a 43 millimeter version, perpetual calendar. It came out. All the fanfare was kind of related to the Messina stink on it because he had the black dial version that was limited edition, and that kind of like took up, his name was prominent on all the headlines. So it almost like buried the lead that they had this regular this a non-limited version, this salmon dial, that I think is even prettier, and completely unrelated to Messina, and it really abides their kind of traditional aesthetic, like all the other salmon dial watches that they've made. So I was like, oh, this is wonderful. It just kind of in a day realizing that the salmon was unrelated to Messina, and that it's probably attainable and it would fit someone's wrist like mine or Dibs is made this a very kind of Dib worthy Honeyball watch.
Who's playing? That's my cat. My cat. Can you guys pick that up? Sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, she's those
Pretty
little
loud.
plastic balls. Yeah. She's like, all right. Sorry.
Nice.
It's all right.
Do we want to hit the chat a little bit before we go to the
need
next
some
one?
Bobby Legs cat in an ASS awards.
James saying Habring, Cho has ownership bias. Cho would love for you to try his sweaty balls this holiday season. Someone playing beer pong. Sorry guys. Going back here, Ken, not too happy. There's no Islander and TGV collab here.
I forgot that one.
Yeah, we forgot to do that. The Hobrings, they do love Joe.
They do.
The Rolex Sprite is Dibs, not sweet ball category. Is Dibs not so sweet category? Sorry.
Oh, he's a hater.
He is a hater.
Yeah.
Rick saying, not sure what he dislikes more.
Jeez.
Wow.
Man.
Hater.
Haters. I even got the beaded bracelet in the picture here, guys.
Ooh, never warmed up to the Sprite. Another hater here, Joey B.
Yeah.
Just can't do LHD. Rick saying you get a bonus. You get 3 free pizza wheel cutters inside that Armstrong.
Oh, he's got to get over that.
Yeah. Okay. Was not into the rectangular watches, but I sure do love the Longines Dolce Vita in the smaller size. Maybe that's Canadian Watch Monkeys Dibs Sweet Honeyballs choice. Yeah. When are they doing a John Mayer Rolex?
Well, that's a good question. One named after him.
That's true.
Unofficially.
Yeah. Well, why have an official one when you can already have an unofficial one?
Yeah.
That seems much more prestigious.
Okay, back to you, Marcus.
Back to me. Okay, so our next award is going to be for negative whiplash. It's the opposite of Dib's Sweet Honey Balls award, where watches that we started off positive and we turned for the negative, or well, not necessarily negative, but we liked it less. They say never meet your heroes, and unfortunately for one of our longtime listeners and viewers, young Jeffrey Deach had saved his pennies and was ready to buy his dream watch, and then he met the brand. He went to Watch Time and met the brand, and he saw something about that brand that he just couldn't get over, and so he kept the pennies in his pocket and he walked away. So for our negative whiplash today, it's the Jeffrey Deach Award for That Grubel is Too Thick.
It's my favorite category name.
Who's going to lead this one off?
Let's go with Amin.
Me again?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Every time I see a Frederic Constant High Life, I'm like, oh, this looks nice. I kind of want this. It's true for the Perpetual, for the World Time. So I have negative whiplash like over and over and over again every time I see one a Frederic Constant High Life, and actually some of the other Frederic Constants too. I think the High Life, like this one, it's nice looking, and then I realize I don't really like integrated steel watches, sports watches. I don't like these kind of 70s rehashes. It's kind of a flat dial. Did we lose the pick
we
here?
lost it.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost it. Yeah, sorry guys. Just keep going.
Dials look kind of flat. You know, I know it's not gonna stay in my collection, that I'm gonna take a beating on selling it. So anyway, Fred, it'll be always the one that got away.
It's more like the one that never was.
Yeah.
Yabi, let's tell us about your MG.
Okay, so I got to tell you, I'm a huge fan of Moritz Grossman. Love the way, love the classic and simple design. If you ever seen one of these, the case back to any of their watches, they're amazing. The amount of detail and precision, it's just mind blowing to me. And so when they came out with this World Timer, I thought, wow, this is gonna be great. Until I saw that one of the cities highlighted was Phoenix, and not for nothing, I have no problems with Phoenix, Arizona, but on a World Timer, I mean, really? I mean, they don't have daylight savings times, right? I mean, like, or they don't jump ahead an hour or go back an hour. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. How many people are world traveling around and going to Phoenix? And
Not
again,
me.
again, nothing wrong with Phoenix, Arizona. I've been there. It's a fine town.
It's a well-made town.
It's a well-made town, you know. But I just, as a world, as featured in a World Time watch amongst other cities, it just was a head scratcher, and it turned me off completely to the watch.
Yeah.
Not that I was going to be able to buy this watch, but I was loving this watch, and then I was just like, oh my god, what a huge disappointment this is. And so that's why it's my pick for the negative, for the Deach's This Grubel is Too Thick award.
Colin coming in hot here. Let's hear it.
Thank you for knocking Phoenix down a peg. They deserve it. So I went with the Vacheron Constantin Historique 222. So for people who aren't aware, this watch was originally released, I believe, in the early 70s. It was kind of a Genta inspired, to compete with the Nautilus, the Royal Oak, stuff like that. And the 222 vintage market was going crazy. That they were commanding huge sums of money. People were buying them up, and it was probably one of the most poorly kept secrets that this watch was going to be reissued. So every single bro was calling their boutique to be on the list for this watch, including myself. And they go and release it. And what do? They make it only in gold. They make it worse. The price tag is over 60,000 US dollars. They basically held all these people ransom over this watch because I don't think many people actually really like this watch. To tell you the truth, it's a very faithful reinterpretation of the original. It's pretty darn close. And the specs on the watch are not great either. The watch, it only has 50 meters water resistance, and I get it, it's a gold watch. People probably aren't diving with this thing. It's got 40 hours of power reserve, and all you have to do is like compare this with the Vacheron rose gold overseas, and you can see how poor of a value this is. I mean, to compare, I think the overseas has a better looking dial, better finished bracelet. It's got the quick change system for the bracelet, rubber, leather, whatever you want to put. It's got better water resistance, a better looking movement, in my opinion, some more hand engraving on the rotor, and it's like $10,000 less than this thing. So I think this was kind of a cash grab. And when it first came out, I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's very, true to the original, but I just soured on it. So that's why it's my negative whiplash.
All right. So for the second year in a row, a Grand Seiko has won my negative whiplash award. I will say this. So just to give everyone who missed it, I think in April, a bit of a background. This is actually the second closest I've come to actually buying a Grand Seiko. So this is not me hating on this watch. This is just me sort of cooling on this watch. When it came out, it had a lot of the stuff that I wanted. It had the 9S A5 movement in it. It had the sword hands, and it was in a wearable dial, and it was limited edition. So like I actually called my AD and I put my name down. So this is like the second closest I've gotten. Like I actually put my name down for it, and I was going to buy it. Incidentally, I promised to share this story, but the closest I've ever gotten to buying in a Grand Seiko, this is a never before told story, involved Sanjay's SBG Y003. So if you will, I don't know if you go back to when it was released, I think it was like 2019. I was all over that, and I actually had the same watch that Sanjay bought in front of me. I had my wallet ready, and then I held it, and then I think something like the horological gods or something like that stopped me. It was just like, this watch is not for you. This watch is for Sanjay. So I passed on it, and Sanjay ultimately bought that, and the rest is history, right? That's the Sanjay watch now. But this is the second closest I've gotten to, and it's nothing wrong with this watch. It's just that as soon as this came out, like a week later, I think the green birch came out. And I was just like, guys, I'm so sick of this. Like you're releasing the same case, same thing with a different dial. So I'm gonna bring back Marcus's vocabulary corner just for one day, okay? So the first word of the day is going to be hackneyed, as in Grand Seiko's textured nature dial are hackneyed, lacking significance through being overused, unoriginal. So that's my my pick for negative whiplash is the Grand Seiko SLGH009. So close, but I still haven't spent my money on a Grand Seiko yet. So let's turn it over to Cho.
Oh, okay. My word goes to a watch that I really hardly have any qualms with. In the metal, it looks absolutely lovely. It's a Garrick, and it's their new line, which is 39 millimeters, so it's smaller. It has a proprietary movement, and they do dials the type that Amin would drool over. So wonderful guilloche, wonderful handwork. They even have a 904L steel case on this one. So everything about it is lovely, especially this this ice blue limited edition available at limited edition UK. It's just, and I look at it all the time. And I could never pull the trigger because, frankly, I can't afford it because it's 16,000 pounds, or more than 19,000 US dollars, and that is it's shocking because it reflexively makes me wince because you think about other 39 millimeter watches from small batch makers like Sartori Billard or Torsti Lina, similar case construction, similar work that they can do on the dials, really nice movements in them as well, whether it's like Vaucher or Le Jouperet, and they're starting at like 9,000 or less. So I can't help it. I always come back to look at this one because it's so pretty, and I always get whiplash whenever I do. So
Garrick's own S4, right? Is around under 10K, like in a different color, different case material.
Yeah, their S4
it's like
is
7.
Like, yeah,
it's
significantly cheaper.
Is this the same movement as the S4?
No, so S4 I think is no, I think it's
6498,
Unitas
right?
based, and so this
64.
one is their own their in-house
Oh,
movement.
okay.
So I think they're just maybe recouping the funds from developing it. It's pretty.
It looks
the curse
the
of
same.
the in-house movement.
Yeah.
Curse of the in-house movement.
Yeah.
All it does is drive up costs.
The dial looks the same.
Go buy a brigade, people. A gold brigade.
Watch Medicine Bobby asking Joe, can Joe say salmon dial slowly?
Salmon dial, Bobby. Salmon dial.
Justin with the Deech. What's going on? Love it. Freddie C. High Life is the champagne of watches. Kevin S. Too thick, and the hands back the 350K Grubel to the brand rep. Classic. He hands it right back to him. That was an epic.
Did he like slam the table too? Like, this is too thick.
No.
This beer doesn't have enough hops. Sorry.
No problem. Detroit said he saw the world timer and it was beautiful. Okay. Amin turning on the Freddie C world. The worlds are colliding. FC always looked so bland. Very odd MG that is. Bobby hates American. I don't hate the American Southwest. I mean, like what was going on? What was happening at Morris Grossman headquarters when they decided to do this? Let's do a world watch, yeah. It's like what cities should we have on it? Tokyo, yeah. Singapore, okay. Dubai, yeah. Cape Town, yeah. Rio de Janeiro, yeah. New York, no. 9. Chicago, 9. Los Angeles, 9. Phoenix, yeah. Nah, I don't see that happening. I don't hate Phoenix. I don't have an issue. Oh, Phoenix, where is it in good health? I went to a good Thai restaurant in Phoenix. Scottsdale, on the other hand, you just lost 500 subscribers. Again, I do not hate Phoenix. Maybe we'll do a parting gift for everybody who we offend in tonight's stream. Said he would never say no. I have been. I've been to Phoenix. It's a wonderful town. Chris, thanks again, Chris. Vestron 222 thumbs up from him.
It's not a horrible watch.
Hey Neo, how you doing? Hey, does it hack? I'd rather have it digest. This is the problem with following the chat after. I'm not really sure where they're going with. That
was the 222. I think I'd rather have a date than that 222.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Peacock flew away. Should have bought the SBGY003.
I still don't have regrets. I'm glad Sanjay has it.
Big wrist is here.
It was meant for him.
I think it was.
Caliber saying, "Wow, Marcus has gotten closer to buying a Grand Seiko than me." Wow.
Well, Caliber doesn't buy anything though.
You're breaking Dib's heart.
He got an award, so I'm not feeling too guilty.
The old Garrick double sickle hands.
I like them. I like their hands.
I kind of like them too. I didn't like them at first, but they have grown on me. Bobby's German accent always kills. Okay. Let's keep moving. Hacking is kind of rated.
Very overrated.
Does not observe daylight savings time, right? Yep. Who even sets the time? Right, that's a good point. Arizona is renowned for their regional iced teas. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's keep going.
Marcus, go ahead.
I don't know how to beat that, like Bobby's German accent. The next award is for watches that we liked but wouldn't buy with our own money, but we're happy to buy with someone else's money. I didn't really have anything that fit that award category, so I just came up with something that sounded kind of dirty, involved birds, and involved Bobby Legs. So the next award is the Bobby Legs Don't Creamu My Emo Award for watches we would like to buy with someone else's money.
I have no idea what that means.
So I'm looking at these selections. I guess I'll lead off, but everybody pretty much gorgeous watches.
Yeah.
And I feel like I would buy the watches you guys picked with my own money. But this Geo, I love it. I mean, I really love it. I love the way they represented the annual calendar on this watch. And but I don't think I could get there with my own money. I don't know. It might be a Geo brand thing. I'm not 100% there yet, even though I was super impressed with their watches at the Watch Time event. But I do love this watch, and I would gladly buy it with someone else's money.
Nice.
That's all I got.
It's a beautiful watch. My pick is the Langenhain homage to Glajut Tower clock. I don't know. To me, this is one of the most beautiful watches I've ever laid my eyes on. I could picture myself, wearing this watch, strolling through a medieval European city, cobblestone streets, and wearing a white or blue button-down shirt with my sports coat, hanging over the side of my shoulder while I'm strolling up and looking at the bell tower. Really, yeah.
Would you be walking with Waco while doing this?
No. I will not be walking with Waco. But yeah, that's what this watch invokes for me. Weirdly, I'm not saying that I'm a normal person, but I don't know where I'm going with this. But anyway, I really, really love this piece, and I would buy this with my money, anybody's money, if I had the chance. That's for me. Yeah.
So
second year in a row on Urwerk for Colin.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh man, I got a thing. Got a thing for Urwerk, I guess.
With your own money.
Well, I mean, if I was a richer man, I guess I would buy this with my own money. But I went with the Urwerk UR220 Rose Gold. Urwerk does something to me. And this watch, especially in gold, I find what they do gold, it's just so striking to me.
Yeah.
And the combination with the white strap, Velcro strap. I love the architecture of the case, the wandering hours, complications. I think this is, one of the best looking Urwerks out there, in my opinion. But, it's 150,000 Swiss francs. If I were a richer man, I'd buy it with my own money, I guess. But it takes some serious stones to drop that kind of cash on an Urwerk, in my opinion. But yeah, beautiful watch. I love it.
I cheated a little bit on my pick here. I just love this watch so much. It's a watch that I would since I've moved towards kind of like 1 or 2 pieces a year, like, and maybe even less going forward, this might be something I would consider in like 4 or 5 years, but not right now. I just love this watch, and I didn't have any way to fit it in to any of the other awards. If I were to actually choose truly, I would have chose pick. But I just love this so much, and I didn't want to go through this award show without recognizing it. So my Don't Creamu My Emu award is the stunning MBNF Legacy Machine Evo Split. It's sort of a detuned version of the Perpetual and the Aggie Door winning chronograph, but I don't think you're settling for this. This is a spectacular watch, with made by a master watchmaker, and it's by a brand that's very sympathetic and very likable. So yeah, that's my pick for this category.
Yeah, and Marcus, I saw that Marcus initially picked the AP Code 1159 as well before he changed, but he changed to an even better one, I think. But I still love this 1159. I think AP, it's been a good year for Code 1159. They gave us so many reasons to really kind of like believe in this line, mostly with like tourbillons earlier this year, whether they were skeletonized or they had a beautiful onyx style tourbillon. And I was actually thinking of one of those, but this thing, the Star Wheel, popped up just like a week ago, and it was just, I love it even more than any tourbillon. It was an easy pick as soon as I saw it, because this always loved the original Star Wheels from the early '90s, but they're gold and they're small, and they have a certain aesthetic about them that I'm not sure that the design matches the classicism of the materials, and the composition of the earlier one. So this one done in a Code 1159 case, on top of aventurine glass. I mean, it's like the perfect Star Wheel, I think.
It's very cool.
I love it.
It's a beautiful watch. I had the opportunity to see the 1159, the aventurine dial in the Perpetual calendar, and the 1159 case itself before everything shut down, because we don't have AP in Canada, so it's really hard to see otherwise. So that's when I was traveling, and I think if it's keeping in with that, this is an extremely stunning watch. And anyone that says that this looks like a gorilla drift or anything like that, yeah, this looks like a gorilla drift the same way like a lion looks like Bobby Legs' cat. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
No offense to Wayne.
All right, no, that's. Hey, Rick loves that Geo, by the way. That your work is interesting. I like the new AP.
Yeah.
Caliber saying I love the Geo, but no, not at that money. Watches we like, but would not spend our money for. Bobby Legs, don't creamu my emu.
Okay. It's just rewriting it.
Yeah, right.
For posterity's sake, right?
Yeah, sure. Medieval Renaissance fair in Teaneck. Yeah, I mean, that would do. That would do, Kevin. Bobby needs a vintage Alfa Romeo to complete his ultra European look. Absolutely, Marceau. Great
TGV
suggestion.
in the passenger seat.
No. But yeah, okay, sure, why not? I don't know. As Archie says, it's gotta hurt. I like that 1159. AP might have finally figured out the 1159 line. I do really like that 1159, Joe. I think it's a great looking watch.
Look how good these watches all look. Those are all awesome watches.
Absolutely. But can that lion play ping pong? Dib says he is validated. Both the 1159 and the MBNF are killers. Absolutely. Beautiful watches. Okay, Marcus, back to you. Next category.
Yeah, so the next award is for overrated watch of the year. And one phrase that has sort of really grinded my gears is the hyperbolic use of the word game changer by YouTubers. I've heard it used to describe a Christopher Ward. I've heard it used to describe a Pagani. I've heard it used to describe all sorts of irredeemable shitters. So I'm not talking about the Christopher Award. It's just nothing. There are no game changers in the watch industry these days. So the next award for overrated watch of the year, the Game Changer Award.
So I've heard when this Patek came out, this new world time chronograph, people call it a game changer because it's steel and I don't know, because it has a trendy color. I'm not quite sure. But you know, it's not that much cheaper than their precious metal world time watches, including their precious metal world time chronograph that came before it. It's, as far as I'm pretty sure, it's a stamped dial, making it the first non-handcraft world time watch ever from Patek. And I just think it's just pure hype, you know, like don't change the price that much, cheapen it, steel, no handcraft, trendy color. It's just furthest thing from a game changer for me.
Okay, so look, I want to start off by apologizing to the chat. I know there's members of the chat. I know there's members of the panel that really like the new iteration of the Tanda that came out from Parmigiani in the recent year or two. And look, this watch that I selected, the GMT Rajapant, I'm sure it's a spectacular demonstration of movement, watchmaking. The finishing, I'm sure, is impeccable. The quality is there. I've seen some of these Tandas in person at watch time, but the dial side of these watches are extremely boring and to me, and it's such a huge disappointment. It ruins the rest of the experience for me, and I think the accolades that these watches have gotten, although maybe in a technical basis have merit, I think stylistically it's just completely boring, and I think they're just overrated. You know, when when we clear the court, right? When LeBron, his teammates clear the court so he can go one on one and hit the hoop, you want to get that one on one action there, right? You just want to clear out everything. It doesn't work that way with a clear dial, with a plain dial for me, right? Just because you have a plain dial and you have all this other stuff that goes with it, it's great, but it's just extremely, extremely disappointing and a letdown. Give me the Tanda of 15 years ago. Give me the Toric of 25 years ago. I'd rather have those watches before I take any new iteration of the Parmigiani. So apologies to those who are fans, but yeah, that's all I got.
Colin, talk about your former crush.
That's quite the takedown, Bobby Legs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm still recovering.
So I went with the Mad Editions Mad 1 Red. Now listen, it's a $2,900 watch. It's not an expensive watch. It's this is more a narrative on the market, the aftermarket pricing of this watch. Is the watch cool? Is it fun? Yes. It spins. It's got some really good horological chops behind it with Max Buser and friends, and I think is Eric Giroux that designed it. For the price of it, and if you want to have some fun with the watch and you got some disposable income, then yeah, sure, go ahead. But for people to be dropping, now they aren't quite anymore, but people were dropping $15,000 to $20,000 on these things, and it's a thick watch. It feels pretty cheaply made. It's just ridiculous. So that's why it's overrated, in my opinion. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. Sorry, Max. We're still friends.
Oh boy. So I'm picking the VC 222. Like, Colin stole a lot of my stole a lot of my thunder here. So I guess that's the danger of going second. But he made a lot of very good points. So second part, Marcus vocabulary corner, second part. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's see. We are going to go with anachronism. So an anachronism, something that is conspicuously old-fashioned. This is a 70s design, and it should have stayed in the 70s. As Colin mentioned before, the current the Mark III overseas in rose gold, especially with the blue dial, far more compelling package, much cheaper. If you like the idea of sort of a Genta-esque throwback with an ultra-thin movement in it, this does not have the JLC 2120 movement in it that's modified by Vacheron, so it lacks the original movement. So the aesthetics are worse. It doesn't have the original movement, so it's caught between two models in the Vacheron catalog. If you wanted aesthetics, get the rose gold overseas. If you want the movement, either get the overseas perpetual calendar, which is the modular version of the 2120, or you can buy one of those white gold ultra thins that are on the secondary market, which I think are still cheaper than this on the secondary market, because you're definitely not buying this at retail. So for me, I didn't see the appeal. I don't think it's a handsome watch. It looks outdated. It looks dated and stale, and it's an old man watch.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. I don't have too much to say about this watch because Colin had it. He, his critique of it was, in the flesh, having handled it and then having, flipped it.
What? I didn't flip that.
Oh.
No, I don't care. It's fine. I did.
Shit.
No, I didn't.
I will, to Max's credit, I think the way that he rolled it out was, it just speaks to what a great character he is. All those videos that he did and the way he just communicated everything. So he just laid everything out so well, to us peasants who wanted a little taste of MBNF. So that was wonderful. But I think once the watch came out and it was just plastered all over social media, and it got a little too much.
I can't say enough good things about the communication they had, the way they did all this. Like,
yeah,
if you can buy it at retail and you want it, go ahead. Like,
yeah,
for sure.
But I will tell you, if you like a spinning rotor type of watch and you like this this color scheme, this black, red, white, silver kind of thing, later on when you guys want, or like Tim says, pull up another tab, open another tab, and keep us running. But look up Parallel Turbine erotic watch. And you can see in the same color scheme and something even more amusing, some badly drawn and scantily clad anime characters hiding under the spinning Parallel rotor, and that would be a good time too.
Only you, Joe. Only you.
Don't do it at work, folks.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like the rotor spinning, if it creates some animation, or if it's just.
I don't know.
Like spinning of pages with like drawings in it. Yeah. James is saying, I heard Game Changer described as a chicken sandwich. Word means nothing.
I love a Game Changer chicken sandwich.
Starting off by apologizing is not the best way to argue that something is overrated. Very true. The Toric Memory Time from the mid-90s is the best watch. Beautiful, beautiful watch. Marcel, he likes the Tana GT annual calendar. Bobby saying here, love how Bobby used LeBron analogy in an overrated category. Hobby Bobby not liking what I said. Sorry, Hobby. The Mad 1 can shapeshift into a Submariner, I heard. The Mad 1 reminds me of those rims that spin at the stoplight. Oh yeah, they're spinning. Overrated. The Moonswatch, anyone? That still may have make an appearance soon somewhere, I think. Deech is consistent, right? I think Deech said that he passed on the MBNF because it's too thick.
It's very thick.
It's Sanjay. Hope you can catch the replay for sure, Sanjay. Good to see you. Joe always brings the sexy.
He does.
To Letting Watch for sure. It's it's a drawing of Richard and Maria offering.
Oh God.
That's hitting a little too close to home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to you, Marcus.
All right. So, again, our one of our panelists is, he's a bit of a watch snob, he's a bit of a coffee snob, and we like to and as a result we always talk about watches that are way too expensive, and so every year we like to sort of have a category just for Colin, where we talk about watches that we would buy if we had unlimited funds, because that's where our headspace is. So the award for watch release with unlimited funds is the Winding Watches Let Them Eat Cake Award. And I feel like some of us didn't spend as much money as we could have.
Yeah,
I could have spent more. Yeah.
I could have picked a Grubel, but it
would have been all Grubels.
Yeah,
that's true.
We don't care about thickness.
I checked out. So this is a thick watch. This Arnold and Son Luna Magna Platinum. I like. I know Rob, you like it too. The big moons, right? Mm-hmm. I've heard you say like big moons, and Arnold and Son they do nice moon phase watches. Not just this one, but their perpetual moon. It's got a beautiful large moon on it. And this one, just seeing it in person, holding it, the 3D impact it makes, just this large spherical moon, and the dual finishes they do with, I forget what the white part is made out of, but the meteorite and then the white side of the moon. I just love this watch. It was one of my favorite watches at Watch Time from any company. So it's not crazy money. I think it's something like 50 grand, 40 something grand, more than I've ever spent on a watch by a long shot. But from 2022, this is my pick.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. Yeah. Look, again, I mean, I could say, could have spent a lot more here, but I just love GP. I love the Laureato, and I love the Laureato with the Onyx dial. And then you put a pink gold case and bracelet, and you totally got me sold. And talk about, the European fantasy. Give me the Alfa Romeo. Give me stopping at the side of the road and having a gelato from an old Italian lady pushing an ice cart. This is the watch. If I had unlimited funds, this is the one I'd take in a second. Pass.
Okay, so I went with the Vacheron Overseas Tourbillon Skeleton in rose gold. This also comes in, I believe, titanium, but I think with this one we go with rose gold. And
only the peasants are going to get titanium.
Yeah. I mean, this thing to me is just incredibly gorgeous. It's got, tourbillon. It's got all the stuff that you want from the Overseas, the bracelet, hand finished bracelet, the quick change, all that good stuff. And the skeletonization on this dial is incredible. I think I tried to count how many hand finished interior angles this watch has, and like you can't even count them. Like it's got to be in the several dozens, if not 100, just on the dial side. It's and on the back side, and it's got peripheral rotor on the back and all that good. It's just a really, really amazing watch to me. It's I think it's in the between 100 and 150,000 or so. I forget the exact price, but yeah, that's my pick.
Yeah, so there were a lot of watches that I considered for this category, including that MBNF. But yeah, this Grubel, like they say that best is potentially subjective. Best is not subjective. This is the best sports watch in the world. I don't even have words for this. This has it's fully water resistant. It's got full titanium bracelet, all hand finished, all hand polished. It's got a metropolis of gears. Everything finished to exacting standards. I think that if I had to go to one watch and try and work towards owning a single watch, it would be this watch. That like I don't have any more words for that watch. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
This might be the only time I pick a Grand Seiko, but it's a pretty good one. So yeah, I might have even more difficulty describing like a constant force tourbillon than I would like spring drive. But it seems like an amazing piece of tech that they crafted in here, and plastered it into some kind of like titanium and platinum case, and of course six figures. So I figured this would be a good unlimited funds watch, because it looks very much unlike any other Grand Seiko I typically take a look at, but it's fantastic horology.
And this is reason number 11 why the ASS is better than the GPHG, because we recognized this watch and didn't pick some inferior Moser crapper instead.
Justin R saying, love them big moons. Are we talking about watches? Bobby, I would side with Rob's choice, but Cho has an intriguing choice. That's not crazy money, but it's ugly money. Amazing watches. I like all these as well. Amazing pieces. Interior angles for days. Kevin S says, I'm more of a fan of exterior angles. Interior angles are kind of played out.
It's got those too.
Easy clean. Too thick. Deech.
Yeah.
The blue dial Zywer Platinum Minute Repeater would be my choice. Very nice.
Nice.
Was that this year?
Is it?
I don't know if that was this year or not.
Cornwallis Beaumont is serving up the superlative soup. I'm with Marcus on the Grubel. Amazing piece. Vestron does great work on the whole line. I just sold a white gold perpetual calendar. The Kodo is sublime. Marcus, back to you.
So before I introduce the next category, I want to say a couple of things. Our attorneys at Metal World Luxury have encouraged us to use acronyms to limit our liability for this next category. And the second thing is, I've always admired our friend Kevin, because Kevin is a very curious man. And he was very curious about a brand that had, was redefining the watch industry with their groundbreaking designs. Ordinarily, you would think we'd be too scared to approach someone with so accomplished, but Kevin walked right up to him. And so this next award is gonna recognize our friend Kevin. So the award for worst release of the year is Random Kev Cross LIW, again, initials. Where do you get your inspiration award for the worst watch of the year? So there we go.
I almost went with a couple different Islander watches, but I couldn't pick one. This new Spinnaker Islander collab, the Rangemaster. Oh, there's this Revolution watch diver that came out today that I almost switched to. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But I had to go with this stupid joke Moser. It's just, I feel like it hurts me more with Moser because I like some of what they do. They have potential. They've had real accomplishments, like this perpetual calendar mechanism is really great horology. And then they do these stupid jokes that trying to be cute, trying to, get a headline, and it's just sucks. So this whatever it's called, the Moser Endeavor Perpetual Calendar Tutorial, or I've heard it called the Perpetual Calendar for Dummies. Ugh, worst for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think my pick may have outstupided your stupid pick. Look, Oris, I respect Oris. You know what I mean? It's just they're not
I
for
forgot
me.
about this one.
It's just they're not for me. Okay, but this has got to be the worst watch I've ever seen. I don't care how hard it is to make this an animal, an enamel. I don't care. It's a dive watch with there's no timing indices here. There's nothing here that tells me it's a dive watch other than the general look. If I was blind maybe and I was feeling through it, I could say, "Oh, this is a dive watch." But when I look at it, I'm like, I don't know what this is. Oris is just they do some things that I scratch my head. Not for me. This watch will never be for me, and it never should be for anybody. It is terrible. Um, please don't do this again, Oris. And hopefully this is the last time I see this watch. I'm done. So.
All right.
Joe's a funny guy. Funny guy, Joe.
So
Joe.
I went with the Resence Alain Silberstein Type 1 Rev, which is the Grail. This might be a triple collab. I don't know what this is. So I don't care if Max Booster bought the first one of these. This fails the very first test for me, which is the eye test. To me, this thing is just ugly. It's a collaboration of toxicity that we've probably never seen before with Resence and Ellen Silverstein. For anyone that spent any time with a Resence watch, and I haven't owned one, but I've held them and worn them a little bit and played with them a bit, but they are not very enjoyable to set or wind, and I can imagine to just live with. And this thing is like 22,500 Swiss francs. I can think of so many more watches to spend your money on, including other Resence watches if you really want a Resence. But to me, this gets my worst watch of the year.
Nice. So when I looked at my pick, this is a bit of a narrative pick because there were a lot of shittier looking watches, a lot of uglier looking watches. I mean, you don't need to look much further than Joe's pick, which is coming up. But I picked it because I just wanted to sort of show the Grubel 4C versus Richard Mille one after the other. So last Marcus's vocabulary corner of the day, dichotomy. So division or contrast between two things that are represented as being opposed or entirely different. So I've always said in Richard Mille is for people with Grubel money and Invicta taste. And they went ahead and proved me right. So this is a ridiculous looking watch. They're charging like, what is it, $1.2 million, and it looks like a child's Happy Meal. So I don't want to dwell too much on this. We're kind of running low on time, so that's kind of my little diatribe. There we go. Let's hear it from Cho.
Okay, really quick. There doesn't need to be a lot said about this one, but I had such a visceral reaction when I first saw this. And then Amin brought up that, I think it was Amin, that they were selling it like $100 off, just like right off the bat, just like cutting their own price. Anyway, so Marcus's word was dichotomy. I think the word for this watch is just synergy. The synergy of the shit that PGV and LIW is capable of creating together.
Yeah.
This is like next level. So I got a lot
Can
of
I
love.
add something? Not only did they, list this when it came out at like $100 off their, the retail price, on their own watch, it's selling at like more than $100 over list used right now.
Oh my goodness.
Can you believe it? It's
What's wrong with people?
Cho wins in a knockout. I forgot about this one. Good call, Amin. I'm not knocking Oris, but I say this as an Oris fanboy. This watch is very crappy. Worst watch of the time. I was just repeating the categories. Enamel. Yeah, okay. So I meant to say enamel. Enamel, another famous puppy legism. I almost did that with legism. Bobby can't make that watch an animal, but he's gonna buy it if it had a bird on it. Yeah. These are all well deserving. Does it come with fries? Thank God I'm not the only one. Someone needs to throw this into wrong time watch. Okay. Caliber 1.2 million for a child's Happy Meal. The Emperor has no pants. The phallic hour hand must be a TGV's contribution. The Islander is the next level bad. Maybe watches arm investments. Feeling better about my collection after that group. TK, good one. Okay, Marcus, final category.
Before I introduce the final category, I will just point out Long Island Watches is a brand whose name does match the initials of Random Kev Cross LIW. Is that a coincidence? I'm going to leave that to our viewers. So we are coming to the biggest award that Amin Cell Straps can give. And we usually try to name the award after someone who's had an extraordinary year. And it came down to two individuals whose 2022 was largely determined by what they did in December 2021. The first individual I considered was Mr. Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge sat across from Brian Cashman in December 2021, looked at him in the eyes and said, I'm not taking your $213 million. I'm worth more than that. I'm going to bet on myself. Yeah. And he bet on himself, and he made $150 million. Like, he got $360 million. So that was the first consideration. The other individual that I considered to name this award after, he actually did the opposite of what Mr. Aaron Judge did. On this very show, December 2021, Amin sat on this exact panel, and he said, I am going to buy one watch above $1,000 in 2022. And he bet against himself, and he was wrong. And he just lived his best watch life this year. Like, look at that. He bought two Breguets. He got a Catalars. He got a robot watch. So with that in mind, I'm happy to announce that the ASS Award for the Watch of the Year is going to be named after Mr. Amin Sabet, the Domo Arigato Amin Sabato Award for Best Watch of the Year.
Now we have a 35K limit on this, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, I think mine is actually like 39K, but it's a UN, so
it's 20 easy. Yeah.
Well, it's just by looking at it, it's already discounted.
It's already 35. Yeah. So, this watch got no fanfare when it came out as part of the Torpilleur series this year. And it's an incredible watch. UN, they've got more than a century of these marine chronograph style watches. They have very high-end Grenfaux enameling in-house. And so this has a Grenfaux white enamel dial. And then the mechanism in this watch, it's a constant force tourbillon. So, just as the Grand Seiko that Joe picked is a different type of solution here, using these flexible, what they call silicium blades. UN also being the first brand to make a silicon escapement, but in this case, using it to create a constant force escapement. This particular Anchor tourbillon, constant force tourbillon, won our competitors award, the GPHG award in 2015 for the tourbillon prize. And so they do all this. It's such a beautiful tourbillon to watch too. It just looks like it's floating. It's huge, and you watch the dance of this constant force mechanism as it rotates. It's just incredible. So for me, it's the UN Torpilleur tourbillon 42 millimeters.
Yeah, I love that watch. And I think that's a great pick. I went with the Longines Spirit Zulu Time. You know, I've been proselytizing all year how great Longines has been, going back in the playbook and reissuing or you know, creating models that look like they're timeless. And the Zulu Spirit, the Longines Zulu Time, the GMT. I think it's just a classic, just a good looking watch. I think this watch can appeal to a broad spectrum of watch collectors, no matter, let's say, what your style is or what your price point is. I think somebody who can dabbles in the $20,000-$30,000 range can really appreciate this watch, which is around 3,000, a little bit above 3,000. And somebody who dabbles in the 1,000, 2,000 range can step up and get this piece because it's a great looking piece, and actually a piece that I would wear when I'm traveling. I wouldn't wear a Pepsi. I'd wear this watch, right? Because it still kind of looks very fly under the radar, and you're not going to attract a lot of attention. Like I said, I think it appeals to a whole wide base of people, and you could probably get this all 20 to 30% off anyway. So I think for me, it was a watch of the year.
Great pick.
Okay, I just want to preface this with, this category was so very disappointing this year. Like, my top 3 picks were all kind of existing watches that have been rehashed with either new colors or some tweaks to the aesthetics or complications. The pickings for this were just abysmal. Honestly, like the under $35,000 range this year was just brutal. And like, I actually did consider the Zulu Time as well. I think that's a very, very good release, and Bobby did a good job of explaining why it's such a good release. But I went with the Collective Horology Armin Strom Gravity Equal Force. So it's dubbed the PO3, which is basically the third in the Collective Horology portfolio series. So I kind of think that the watch world, myself included, is kind of just starting to recognize what Armin Strom is doing. They're starting, their watches are like impeccably finished. They have some really great complications. And I think we're just kind of seeing the infancy of them rising in popularity right now. I've noticed, a lot of my friends are starting to kind of look at them more seriously. And I really do think that this is a great watch as well on its own. But the design cues on this watch are great to me. It's got, the Comblemine guilloche dial and base plate, not dial. It's got a fume green dial, milled bridges. I think the overall package just looks fantastic, coupled with the finishing that Armin Strom does. And so, yeah, I threw it out there, and this is my watch of the year.
Big kudos to Colin for describing his watch without using the word tactical in it. I'm really excited for that. Yeah, that's a great watch. I'm going to echo a lot of what Colin said this year. Very challenging category. There were a lot of great, like, sort of $45,000, $50,000 watches. There were a lot of great sub $10,000 watches, and there wasn't really much in between. So you're sort of left between a rock and a hard place. Like, do you want to spend all your money, which I generally like to do? Like, I would like to go right up to that limit. Or do you want to pick sort of a more sort of everyman watch? And I guess, one of our panel took the everyman pick seriously, and one of us, with our next pick, didn't really take it that seriously. Cho. Yeah, so it was challenging. I considered a lot of watches kind of in that price range. Considered Amin's, considered Colin's pick. I considered Amin's Geo annual calendar. But once again, I went with narrative. So, I mean, I'm going to share with you a quote from the famous philosopher Tyrion Lannister. What unites people? Armies, gold, flags, no, stories. There's nothing more powerful in the world than a good story. Nothing can stop it, no enemy can defeat it. And who has a better story than Richard Habring and the Velashu 7750? Um, in a year that there was a dearth of quality candidates, I just need to recognize the genius of Richard Habring. If there's anyone that has truly mastered the 7750, it's Richard Habring, and I appreciate how they've stayed true to the 7750 while at the same time making their own version of it. All of its none of it's sourced from ETA. Their A11 CP is I think it's a real successor to that. The aesthetics on this modular perpetual calendar are beautiful. It's got lovely styling with the brigade numerals. The moon phase is stunning, and it's an incredible package. And it's something that I truly consider spending my own money on. If I didn't have my Moser perpetual, I would have spent my money on it. It's a brand that I really believe in. It's it's someone who's really it's two people that have really sort of distinguished themselves in the community. So my watch of the year is the non-Messina Habring perpetual calendar, salmon dial with the brigade numerals. So we'll end the show with Cho.
Salmon dial. Well, I will confess to everyone, since everyone on the panel already knows, but everyone else in the audience, that for the longest time, my pick, and they saw it on this spreadsheet for Watch of the Year, was the 42 millimeter yellow gold Yachtmaster.
Yeah.
Because that watch, in its design, in its proportions, on the Oyster Flex, really did seem like my conception of a perfect sporty Rolex. I think they got the design just right. But at the last minute, I decided not to give anyone the satisfaction, so I picked the Moon Swatch.
He's a closeted Rolex fanboy. Everybody.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You know what? I'll never know where he really is. Is he really a closeted Rolex fanboy, or is he just trolling us a little bit?
Trolling us?
I'll never know.
He's as inscrutable as Kyrie.
Yeah. He's inscrutable. He's completely inscrutable.
I think if there's anything that can trump the design of Rolex, it's not the Speedmaster, but it comes close. It can put up a fight. And this year in March, when they released these little plastic watches, which still remain, I mean, if you walked by a Swatch and you saw that they had one, anyone in their right mind would still buy it. I certainly would, and I still want one. It's it sets you back $260, so it's widely appealing to anyone who's interested in watches, and it's just stupid fun. And I think it's okay to celebrate stupid fun, and so long as it's not TGV X LIW. So I still like these watches a lot.
It likely did the most for bringing interest to the watch community this year out of any watch, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it sold a lot of Omegas too, or at least that's what people say.
That's what I've heard.
A buddy of mine went to go buy a Moonswatch, and they ran out, so he went and bought a Speedmaster that day.
What?
So, yeah.
Wow.
That's a power move, man.
That's awesome.
He was like, he angry about that Speedmaster.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Joy B. Scene, the true watch of the year was a bespoke one of one. That was Cho's Kadoki. Drop mic, no arguments necessary.
That was an awesome watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
He flipped that.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
For a mad one.
Uranus for the win. Rick saying 3 great watches being auctioned at Loop This tomorrow. Well, guys, Marcus, I want you to have the last word because you did such a great job putting this together. But I want to thank Marcus for really quarterbacking the show tonight, and as well as the previous years of the ASS Awards. He really does a great job, and we're very lucky to have him on board to do that. So, Marcus, I'll give you the last word.
I don't really have anything to say. I think I'm out of things to say. So I'd like to thank the panel, and thank you to our viewers. Like you make this worth doing, and it's always a pleasure to host this every year and poke a little bit of fun at the GPHG every now and then.
Well said.
Well said. Yeah.
Well said. Well, gentlemen, thank you, everyone. Chat, everyone, thank you so much, and we'll see you on Friday. Take care. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.